In this episode, we gain a new addition to the family, or should I say two. Terra and the kids leave for the big city, and I decide to tackle the basement and make it into a more livable space, while trying to teach you a little of what I know of drywall. Stick around to the end too, as I share my thoughts and feelings after being here for 3 weeks. So let's get into it. I think there's a surprise waiting behind this door. Hey guys, what have we got here?
This is Tiger and that's Boots.
Boots? Aw, two boys? Two bros?
Two bros.
Is this your Christmas present, guys? One of them?
Let's go upstairs.
Have they meowed yet?
Yeah.
They have
the cutest now.
Wow. Oh. Yay. Wow. Boots and Tiger going at it like brothers should. Hey.
Buddy.
Hey, buddy. Instinctive. Sarah and the kids are off to Vancouver for the first time.
Yeah.
You guys excited to see your friends?
See my fish.
Yeah. Excited?
Turn the light off. Super excited.
Yeah?
Feels like we haven't seen them in a year.
You can tell them all the fun stories?
Yeah.
So you tell them about driving the tractor, Gabe? Dad's gonna be all alone in the house. What's the main thing Dad needs to know?
Not to work too hard.
Not Daddy works too hard sometimes?
100%, yeah.
Okay. I will take that.
Set it down.
Safe
Daddy,
travels.
would you?
Off they go. Dad's all alone. 4 days. Some would think, yay! It's how a time alone. And there's part of me that likes that. But in the evenings, when you've had kids, when you've got a family and you've had kids, you'll understand. You miss the noise. When it's there, you want it. You want to be away from it. When it's gone, you miss it. Yeah. Find something to just dig into. So it really isn't a super exciting project. I apologize. Those ones will come, but this is our basement in our home, unfinished and full of boxes. And we have another full truck coming mid-month. I'm just maxed out with the amount of stuff we have. It's funny how we keep these family heirlooms and you think, oh, we can't throw it away because our kids and our kids' kids, and in actual fact, they don't want your junk because they got no room for it probably. So anyway, my plan is to frame down the middle and then frame a return here. And then maybe this will be like a spot for the TV, or maybe we'll put like a pull-out bed there and the TV will go here. But this will give us a nice big space to be able to put a bunch of shelving on for the 5 million books that we own. So that is my project, and I will get to work. Lean-to, pouring rain here, so anyway it's gonna work. One little tip I would give, and again preaching to the choir if you're a framer, make your studs a little long so you got to tap them in. It's a lot easier if it pressure fits, and then you can tap it either way and get it level, then screw it in. When the family are away, I eat pretty basic. Potatoes, Pork chops. I don't have any gravy. Pork chops without gravy. Pretty boring. Okay, so it's the next day from the other day that you saw. Got some drywall. The heavens look like they're about to open. So I need to get this drywall in there before wetness comes. One way drywall gets into this room. It's forward, back, up, it's around, squeeze, and it's down. And a total fluke. I just went to measure to put my cross piece in, and it's exactly, the door's 82, this is 82 and a half. Total fluke. So I don't even need to put anything across there. The door's just gonna slot right in. So that's what I'm gonna do next. My mom today, she's in New Zealand. I don't talk to her enough. Note to sons and daughters, talk to your parents, because I'm a parent and my older kids don't talk to me that much. And it's tough. I mean, I know it is what it is because kids are into their own thing and that's cool. But you go from being their everything, you know, they need you to cook the dinner, do everything, be there always, to not really needing you that much. And I've been there when I've not called my mom in a long, long time. You get a piece of your own medicine, it doesn't taste so good. So just when you can, give your mom a shout. Tell her you love her. Tell her you're thinking about her. It means a lot. If my kids text me out of the blue, call me out of the blue, it's nice. Boom. Now we're on to drywall. Okay, so drywall's all on, and then tomorrow I'll get back to work and try and get a coat of mud on this. What's the matter? Are you hungry? I'm editing. It's kind of addictive, I'll be honest with you. All right, so Sunday, I got the drywall on yesterday. Called it a day at 4 or 5, went to the gym, which was a good call, good for my mental health. And so today, before the kids come back and Terra from Vancouver, I want to try and get some mud on the walls. Oh, and you're probably wondering what's different. What's different? Something's different. This is gone. I tried to touch up my beard last night with a beard trimmer, and I went too deep and had to take the whole thing off. So I'm feeling a little cold and a little weirded out. I'm shocked every time I look in the mirror. Oh, who's that guy? So that's what's different, if you're wondering. Okay, so these are the products I'm going with. Pre-mixed. If you're a pro, you don't use this. You use bags and you mix it with water. A mixing trowel is really important. You don't want to be lugging this big bucket around. What was that, 2.5, 3-inch trowel for doing most of your work. And then fiber tape. We're going to use that for the joints. Probably not best for the inside corners though. Paper would be best. I should have got paper. Darn it. And then this trowel I will use for the wide butt joints. Hopefully it's wide enough to cover the butts. This is one of those jobs that if you can afford it, you want to pay someone to do it. Because I mean, this is a small job that I'm doing here, but when it comes to the ceilings, there's no way I'm going to do it. So this is your corner bead. Got a little raised part here so you can mud up to it again, tight, and then over, which is nice. So what you want to do before you put your corner bead in is first make sure it's the right length. Now I'll see if I can remember this correctly. You put your mud on the end of your knife, and you kind of go down like that, like at a slight angle. If you don't have enough mud on there, your bead is going to pop off over time. And you want to grab your bead, and then you got to push it in with your fingers all the way. You don't want to contort the bead. If your bead is slight, you don't want to force it, because sometimes your angle, your bead is what makes it nice and crisp and square. You go oodles of mud here. You can just squish it flat like that. Loaded, ready to dry out. Now we're going to do the tape. So this tape is sort of sticky on one side, but I tell you what, it's not as sticky as you'd like. Oh, just about need a ladder. So the last piece of the drywalling story is an inside corner. So paper bead has a seam in the middle. It's kind of pre-folded, kind of pre-seamed, so you can fold it into the corner. The other thing you need is a corner trowel, for sure. If you try doing this with a hand trowel, you're going to end up with so much mud in the corners, you'll be sanding forever, and it won't be a nice tight squeeze. I'm going to load up the corner first. I'm going to kind of pre-fold it a little bit, run it through your hand, and then press it into the corners. You get to road test the corner trowel. Put in the bottom. You want to dry that out, and then we'll put another coat on there. Now I'm going to do the other corners. It's hard to kind of chronologically section my feelings off. This would be a good time to have notes, right? But that's not the way I roll. So, you know, if we were to focus on some of the more negative aspects of the move, I think it would be obviously the shrinking of our living space. We gotten used to that pretty quickly. You know, the decor, the way it was decorated and built, it was all build-a-grade. But you know, it doesn't take long before you just don't look at those things much. You just kind of get, you know, you're other fish to fry, and so it's kind of okay. It's not something I've really dwelt on much, and I know there's a lot of people that have messaged me and said that they know people that have moved from a house into an RV with kids, and that's huge. So the smallness of the house and the decor of the house is just kind of, we've gotten over that pretty fast, or I have. I can only speak for myself. Not knowing anybody here for me wasn't such a big deal, because I felt, you know, whatever your views are on what we've gone through in the last 2 to 3 years with COVID, my friendships have been strained and fractured in some way. Maybe not because sometimes because we have different beliefs, but you know, after a while, when you're told not to hang out with people, and when certain people are a bit more paranoid than others, and you don't commune like you used to, it's hard to just flick a switch and go back to the way things were. You build a new community, and sometimes a community that thinks the way you think, and you know, to just suddenly, once the COVID rules were dropped, to suddenly go back to the way things were wasn't actually as easy as it would seem. And so for me, I felt a sense of loneliness in Vancouver anyway. When I think about some of the positives of this move, there's lots of them. One of the first things that hit me, and it was hard to deny for my wife as well, was how incredibly friendly, I'm walking on my property, by the way, it's pretty cool, how incredibly friendly everybody that I've come in contact with here, from tow truck driver to the garbage man to the Amazon girl. I love your kittens, like chit-chatting away. In Vancouver, which is the city I came from, everybody had blinders on, get my shopping done, get my groceries done. Even if you bump into a friend in a grocery store, for the most part, everyone's in a rush. Gotta go, got stuff to do, gotta go. Living in a busy, stressful, expensive city rubs off on you, and you become like a turtle in a shell, and you have to keep retracting into your shell as a survival mechanism, and you don't realize what that's doing to the community feel, but it is what it is. It's how you survive there. Everybody I've met here, and this is not an exaggeration, and I've met quite a few people, it has the time and headspace to pause and to talk to you, legit look in your eyes and talk to you. And that really impacted us. I bumped into a guy at a coffee shop. I was doing some work, and I heard this guy talking about something that I could relate to, and I leaned over, interrupted two friends talking, which sometimes that doesn't go down so well. And they leaned, and I said, "Oh, it's good to something," and immediately they lit up, turned their chairs towards me. We talked for half an hour. The guy took my number, the one guy. I said, "We're new to the city." 2 hours later, I got a text from him, "Hey, we'd love to have you over for dinner." Like, doing it, right? And he pressed and pressed until we solidified a date, and we're going there for dinner to this guy I've never met before. Met him at a coffee shop. How cool is that? And so that's some of the good that I've been feeling from being here already. One little negative is that I didn't realize how much flight activity there would be. We've got Comox Airport close to us, which is an airbase, and there's a lot of planes coming, and they're usually Army planes, so the big Hercules. The nice thing is, if there is a nice side to it, is we're on the landing end of the runway, so most of the planes are easing down. They're not like full thrust, which would be very noisy. So there's that. Another little negative is I didn't realize how busy this road is. My wife actually likes that because she doesn't feel as cut off. For me, I would prefer just to hear birds and nature and to be totally cut off and the odd car. So I don't like it. That's why I've escaped down to the forest to talk to you, because in the back of my mind, it's annoying me that there's traffic. Another beautiful benefit is we're walking distance from the ocean, and Tara and I both deeply love being close to the ocean. I grew up near the ocean. I love the smell of the ocean. I love the unpredictability of the ocean, the tide, and that's going to be great. So all in all, I would say there's more positives than negatives. For me, my wife might have something different to say. I think that she's on a tough journey, embracing this change. I think it's been very tough for her, just because of her very deep friendships. I think dudes don't go as deep on friendships, and maybe that's a generalization. It is something that I really want in my life, and I'm putting out there into the universe that I really want to have close male relationships. Like, they're thick and thin, there to help you lift stuff, there to help you do stuff, no strings attached. I'm really looking forward to that, because I know that the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, is going to send that my way, because it always happens when you do that. What else am I going to say? I think lastly, I'd just like to end this little blurb, going on 16 minutes now, feels like hours, with a word of encouragement to anybody who's thinking of doing what we've done. I mean, we live in a world now that we're in weird times. The cost of living is mental. The cost of produce and goods is crazy. Not showing it. The cost of fuel is crazy. To have the ability to be able to provide for yourself is massive. And that is one of the drivers of us moving here, was for us to be able to, if we needed to provide. Another reason for us, moving was to lower the burn. That was a huge one for me. We had a massive mortgage in Vancouver because I had to bail out my company. I could never see myself getting rid of that mortgage. We sold our house for a good price and got this for a good price, and have lessened my mortgage to a point where I could actually see us being mortgage free in the not too far future, which is amazing to be mortgage free. I mean, you just don't want to be too reliant on the man. So I would say, as a word of encouragement, you know, don't live too far beyond your means. First home, you'll be in debt for the rest of your life. If you're feeling the itch, and a lot of you won't be feeling the itch, a lot of you are quite happy to live in cities, and that's cool. Quite happy to live in a condo, that's cool. But if you're feeling kind of this tug, and I know I've seen a few comments of people saying, you know, I wish I had the guts to do what you do. I would say there's no difference between me and you. The only difference is I just took that one last step, which is doing what you say you're going to do. I would say the cliche phrase, you only have one life to live. And if you're in alignment with the universe, and I don't want to get too hippy-dippy here, or God, or whatever you want to call whoever's up there, or in here, or in those trees, or in this ground, if you're in alignment, you'll be okay. It won't be easy, but you'll be okay. And I would encourage you to take courage and to look at all the people that are doing this. I'm one in thousands of people that are making way more aggressive moves than I've made. And although, you know, I've shared some of the pains of what we're going through, it will get better and better and better. I know it will. And so I would encourage you, if you're feeling that little tug, if you're hearing that little voice, push it just a little harder and see if it continues to open. That's the way I've lived my whole life. If I feel the door open a crack, I push it a bit more. If it slams back in my face, sometimes I push it more and it's a bad idea. I haven't always done it right, that's for dang sure. Because my father, when he was dying, and I believe you can get the best wisdom from a dying person, he said, the classic, I wish I'd spent more time with my family. But the interesting one, he said, I wish I had risked more. And it's worth thinking about that. He always counted the cost of every decision and talked his way out of it. I can't do this. This won't add up. It doesn't make sense. He was a dreamer, a huge dreamer. But when it came to the doing part, he was really, really scared of making moves, and he had a regret. And who wants to die with regrets? You know, I'm trying to spend more. I know that we'll all have regrets when we move on. I've not been the best father. I've not been the best partner. I've not been the best friend. I've not been the best boss. I've been the best I can be, and I've made tons of mistakes. But when it comes to experience, I can say this: I have taken the risky moves over and over again, and it's never been a regret for me. I mean, I would still be in England right now if I hadn't have had the guts to move to America and do all these things. If you're always going to count the cost and always base all your decisions mathematically, pros and cons, it's that gut feeling. I think it's something we need to learn to trust more. I think that going through what we went through in the last 2 years, me and my wife really learned to turn to our inner gut feeling, because we didn't know who was telling us the truth, and it strengthened that muscle again of like this from when time began, like Neanderthals and cavemen, they trusted their gut, and that's God-given. And I think it's really important that we learn to trust our gut. Like, what's your gut saying? What's your heart saying? And forget about all the opinions. So I would, I'm going to leave this with a word of encouragement. I've rattled on for ages here. Is just risk more. Take a bit of advice from my passed away father. Risk more, so that you don't, on your deathbed, say, "I wish I had." Thanks for listening, guys. Means a lot to me. Take care.